Hey everybody, this is Starjump Grim, and with me is Starjump Ender. We are doing an audio check. Ender, can you say hello?
Jiggity check, jiggity hello, everyone.
Everybody in chat, can you hear us? Give us a 5x5. Let's see who can get the first 5x5 up. Up, it's VG.
VG's right,
Quick,
of course.
quick on the 5x5. Texas Horny Toad,
So
always love the
fast.
name. Good to see you. I hope you're well today. Everyone, we'll be right back. Stay tuned for tonight's episode of Starjump Station. All right, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Hopefully, everyone enjoyed that little bit extra long intro today. It took a while to get a few things set up on the back end. Hello, welcome to Starjump Station. We are covering day 5 of IAE. As you know, we have coverage throughout the event. I am here as always with Starjump Ender. Ender, how are you? How was your day today?
Today was better than yesterday and better than the day before, so it just keeps improving.
Well, Citizen Space Rex in chat on Twitch just said that you're a handsome stud, so that's got to make you feel better.
I mean, it makes me feel as good as it makes you feel.
Hope everybody's doing well. Thanks everybody in chat for hanging out with us tonight. Got 41 over on Twitch and 61 over on YouTube, so people are piling in. Really appreciate the ongoing support through the IAE event. We're hoping this momentum takes us throughout the remaining this year and on through next year as we barrel towards our St. Jude stuff in May. So we're hoping that momentum can build up to a really successful, charity event next year. We're really looking forward to that, putting a lot of work into it. And I think just seeing how many people are rallying around Starjump over the course of the last month or so as we've kind of got back to content creation here has been really great to see. VG says, Ender, I just noticed in the Starjump Station intro that the Starjump team all has their name on their ships except Ender. Oh, right. So his name's not actually on the ship. It just comes up as animated type. That's true. That's a good eye, VG.
It's because, VG, it's actually not my final ship.
That's true. Yeah.
That was the rental that the rental company gave me until I get my final ship.
Yeah. And we're going to be doing a new Starjump Station open. That one's a little dated at this point, but there'll be a different ship representing Ender. Be a nice Connie Phoenix. So stay tuned for that.
And that's how Ender ended up no longer being part of Starjump.
Guys,
I am now Dad Bod Bard. Let's go. No, I'm kidding.
But yes, everyone.
I knew it.
Yeah, but everyone, I hope you're doing well. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We're going to cover, like I said, day 5, which is all about RSI. And let's be honest here, this IAE day is all about the Polaris. Okay, the first military capital ship to enter the PU. So it's an exciting day. We're going to cover that. We're going to talk a little bit about the giveaways again. We have one tonight. We also are going to talk about capital ship price increases because the Polaris got a little bit of a price increase. So we're going to talk about that and talk about what that possibly means for the future of ships, especially big ships, as they go from concept to flight ready status. Now, if you have a question that is pertinent to what we're talking about, please put it in brackets. We will try to catch it. We don't have a bot or any fancy thing like the info runners do. I do need to get that bot.
Although I need to look into that and get that going for you.
I know they got that custom done for themselves. So I don't know if they want to give it up, but I'm curious if there's something else out there we can use. We'll have to see.
Yeah, Kavotha? There is. So there's, what's up, Kavotha? There's this thing called Ender. Ender can do it.
Ender can do it. Well, that's all we need then. Yeah, I think a cool question bot is what we need. But
I think so.
We're gonna cover that. But first, let's go ahead and talk about our partnership. We are official partners of Icon City. You can see the badge. We're always pointing to the wrong direction. Right down there. Use the code StarJump for 10% off your order. There you go.
I got it right.
Yep, you got it right. Use Starjump for 10% off your order. We will be giving away an Icon City Star Citizen Icon Pack, both on an episode of Starjump Station later in the IAE cycle and on our Fleet Builders episode that we're still planning. Let's see. Oh, hi, Quinn. Hope you're well. Salute to everyone in chat. Really excited to see you all here. Thank you so much for hanging out. So first, let's go ahead and get into the... let me pull it up here, everybody. Bear with me. Let's go ahead and get into the giveaways tonight. We will be giving away an Argo Atlas, okay? The ATLS. I guess we're just calling it Atlas. Pretty great for moving cargo and stuff like that. Here's how you're going to enter it. If you're on Twitch, you are going to do !ticket or !ticket max, okay? That is going to buy you a ticket for the Argo Atlas, so go ahead and get in on that. If you are on YouTube, thank you for that follow, by the way. If you are on YouTube, you are going to go to the link that I'm about to pin in chat. I'm doing that now. You will go to the link that I'm pinning in the YouTube chat, and that link is to one of our Starjump Shipyard episodes on the Crucible. Okay, you're going to leave a comment on that video. You can say hi, goodbye. You can tell how Ender is quite the handsome stud. You can talk about his beard, his fancy new haircut, whatever you want. Either way, try to make it positive though, if you would, just to not bring any negativity into the Starjump channels. We really appreciate it. But go to that link, leave a comment, and we will draw from there. Now,
Quinn said, "Happy Connie Day" to me, and I just want to respond with a Happy Connovial Tuesday in November to you, sir.
Exactly. There you go.
Continue, Grim. Sorry.
Cool. No worries. And then, yes, we'll be doing one Argo Atlas giveaway on YouTube, one Argo Atlas on the Twitch. Remember, you can enter both, but you can only win once, okay? And you do have to be here in chat, something Ender pointed out, and I really appreciate him doing that because that does make a difference. To clean up how we do the weighting moving forward, though, what we're going to do is we're going to do the giveaways not at the very end of the show. We'll do them about 15 minutes before we end. That way, especially on YouTube, whoever we call out for the winner, we can give them about 5 minutes to ping us so that we don't miss them, okay? Before, when we were doing it at the end of the show, I think we were just eager to wrap things up, and we kind of gave some, people like a minute, 60 seconds or so. But
yeah, we'll give them more time.
Yeah, we'll give them a little bit more time this time. Appreciate you all being patient with that. Vasily says, question, do Icon City icons work on devices other than Stream Deck? I'm pretty sure they do, or they have versions that do. Vasily, I'll look into that, though. I will ask James over at Icon City. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. So that is our giveaways. I want to go over our Starjump Station IAE schedule again as well. You can see that here. We've already covered a number of these. We did our pre-IAE show, day 1 show, and day 3 show. We're now on November 26th doing our day 5 RSI focus show. There'll be no show tomorrow or the next day. Okay, so that'll be Wednesday and Thursday. There'll be no shows on Wednesday or Thursday at all, as those days aren't super interesting to cover, except for Drake, which I do want to talk about. But either way, day 6 and 7, we will essentially cover all that on November 29th, which is Friday. You can see that there on the schedule. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about the Ironclad. We're going to talk about the Pioneer, even though we'll be a little bit late to those discussions. And then finally on November 30th, Saturday, we will discuss Anvil Day, the day 9, okay? Important one because this is where we're going to get not only the medical terrapin, we're going to get our concept reveal of the Anvil Paladin. We've discussed already on this show a little bit about what we think it is, and it's going to be really interesting to see where that lands, how much it is, simply because the terrapin and the Valkyrie, which the Paladin looks like it's heavily based off of, are both very expensive ships for what they are. So it'll be really interesting to see where CIG comes on cost. Let's see here. Admiral Kusanagi, what does he say? He says, well, if they were following both channels, they would have been there. You should only get a chance to win what you're watching and give you viewership. Yep. There you go. There you go. Yes, so though, so hopefully I'm saying that right. It says it's sad no episode 3 of the IAE show today. I was too. So I was originally expecting that we were going.
By that.
Yeah, I was originally expecting we were going to watch that episode today because I was hoping they were going to show, sneak peeks of the Perseus, but that didn't happen. We now know that the next episode of the IAE show will air on Drake Day. Okay, so
yeah,
maybe that's hinting towards something we don't know. But there you go. We did have one question roll in. Ender just pinged me on, so let's go ahead and get to that one. Question is, thoughts on the Polaris's $975 price, but also a 1025 LTI pipe? Yeah, we're going to talk all about that when we talk about capital ship price increases. So we're going to talk all about that. Absolutely. All right. Let's go ahead and not waste any time. I'll go ahead and alert everyone too. This won't be the longest stream out of the IAE shows the Starjump Station shows we've been doing. This will probably be a little bit of a shorter one tonight, mainly because it's a very focused episode. It's primarily going to be talking about the Polaris. So here we go. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Ender, anything you want to talk about before we kind of launch into covering today's stuff?
You know what? I'll super quick. I'll say, like you said, we are excited to move forward into or towards our April, May timeframe, St. Jude stuff,
Yep.
and or March, April. Excuse me. I apologize.
Was it March, April? I thought it was
And
April,
I
May.
know it's April, May. You're right. It's April, May. It's March, April, and May, but the March part is not fundraising. We'll get into that.
Gotcha.
But if anybody wants to assist, wants to be a part of it, wants to help out in any way, please feel free to join our Discord. I'm going to exclamation Discord.
And I think as we get
And reach out.
closer, yeah, I think as we get closer to the event too, sometime next year, I could see
Yeah.
us doing it maybe in late February or something. We'll probably create maybe even like an official sign up page or
Yeah.
something where if you want to, offer ships or donations of any
Yep.
kind to go towards the charity event, the charity push, people can sign up for that so that we can properly credit you on the show for those
Uh-huh.
donations, and all that kind of good stuff. We plan on making this year or next year's St. Jude a very big focus. We're going to put a lot of work and effort into it. So, and we might have some.
Pushing our way to 25K. That's what I'm calling it
Yeah.
next year.
All right. What's your tagline for it?
Pushing our way to 25K. We're at
I like it.
16.3, I believe.
I
And I
like
would
it.
love to hit 25K if we can.
I like it. I like it. Okay, chat. Don't forget, if you want to ask a question that's pertinent to what we're talking about, do question in brackets. We'll try to grab that. Ender's kind of keeping an eye on that. But here we go. We're going to go ahead and launch into it. Again, fantastic turnout from everyone tonight. Really appreciate it. 72 already over at Twitch and 78 on YouTube. So again, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. If you haven't followed the channel, please follow the channel. If you haven't followed our Twitter, definitely go over there and follow that. That is where Starjump News tends to come out on, updates to Fleet Viewer, all that kind of good stuff. Don't forget, if you're on Twitch right now, to go over to our YouTube and make sure you follow, like, subscribe, hit the alert bells, all that kind of good stuff. And then, of course, if you are already on Twitch, make sure you go give Ender's channel a follow as well. Okay, here we go, everybody. We're going to jump into it. We did get our first question. I'm just going to ask it. Lazy Donut says, how can I get a sexy beard like Ender? Ender, can you answer that?
Hard work, perseverance,
And lots of stress.
and a hell of a lot of stress. Yeah. It's
Yes.
you got to get the gray to come in.
The stress
Um,
gives it that scraggledness.
It does. What's funny, Donut, is I'm actually able to grow a beard, and it took me a really long time to do it. My family has trouble with beards, so
There you go.
I got lucky, and I kept going.
You got lucky, yeah. See, I was fortunate in that my hair started going, which is fine. It just removes having to deal with hair, which I was kind of totally fine with, because I really didn't like dealing with hair and haircuts and barbers. However, I did not want to be beardless, and my entire life, all the way back to when I was in high school, beards were no problem for me. So,
Yeah.
all right, let's get started. Roberts Space Industries. Exciting day for me. Again, here we go. Okay, let's go ahead and talk. Obviously, the RSI Polaris is the big news for today. We are going to get into the Polaris in a deeper way here in just a second. I'm going to pass over it for a minute. Okay, but today's Warbond Daily Deal is the constellation Aquila. Aquila? It's Aquila, right? It's not Aquila. Is it Aquila or Aquila?
I'm going to call it the Aquila.
Okay, I'm going to go.
But it's definitely Aquila, I believe, because two L's would be the yeah.
There you go.
So
Okay.
it's Aquila, I believe.
Constellation Aquila. So obviously you grabbed this Warbond Daily Deal. That's a known quantity.
I didn't need to. I already have these hidden away from the world. All of the constellations. I have 12 of each.
That's
so,
interesting. VG says it's Latin for eagle. It's Aquila.
It is. It is
Cool.
indeed Latin for eagle.
I did not know that. That's cool. All right, we're just going to jump down into it, everybody. First ship on the list for today. Again, we're not going to talk about every single RSI ship. We're not going to talk about every variant of the Aurora. Okay, that's been done 1,000 times through IAE Pass. Yeah, exactly. Yes, but let's talk about the Apollo real quick. We have the Apollo Medevac and the Apollo Triage. We can kind of group these together. Andrew, I know you're a big fan of the Apollo. We recently saw the Apollo in in the silhouette videos that
Hmm.
CIG did. I think I got that right here.
I was
Here's the
super
silhouette of the
hopeful that
Apollo.
we'd get them, but
You know,
we didn't.
again, I was
Didn't.
really hoping we were going to get info today on an IEE show about the
Yeah.
Apollo and the Perseus. We'll talk a little bit about the IAE show and the lack of seeing those ships. But again, what's your thoughts on the Apollo? I know you've asked you this multiple times
Oh yeah.
on the show,
Sure.
but remind everybody what your thoughts are on it, why you're excited for it, and all that type of stuff.
Love the Apollo. Big fan of the medevac. I like a few things about it, but mostly the medevac for me was that it's based off of a inverse movie, and we all know I'm a movie buff. But also, getting that up armor, getting those missiles is great. But it's a great little ambulance. Get in there in the middle of a fight, grab somebody, get them out, keep them safe. I'm hoping medical changes to kind of make up for
Yeah,
all the other stuff. But we'll see. We'll see.
yeah. Quinn asks, "Are we 100% that silhouette's the Apollo?" Yeah, I'm 100% on it. I got it
100%.
confirmed by Dev. But here's what I would say. The Apollo is a really cool looking ship. It's like a perfect size ship too. I think it sits in that like 40-meter range. It could grow a little bit. I'm not sure. But here's something I was thinking about this ship, and I don't know if anyone else agrees or if people think that it's a good thing for there to be a unique hull for a niche role. And I call it a niche role, but let's just call it a secondary profession role. To me, the Apollo is ripe to not only have the two medical variants, but to have a third variant that is maybe general purpose. And my thinking around this, and again, I think it's probably more of a controversial opinion because I brought it up to a lot of other content creators, and they're always like, "Oh, yeah, I guess." But my idea is that when CIG is dedicating employees to build a ship out, whether it's a big ship, small ship, whatever, they're wasting, or they're not wasting, but they're putting development hours into a ship.
Sure.
The more niche that ship is, the more those development hours only appeal to a certain few players. So for me, I think on niche ships on like the Apollo here, and when I say niche, meaning it's for one specific role. And I would put
Hmm.
other ships in there too, like the Herald, or there's other ships like that.
Right.
It would make sense if possible. Not every niche ship is going to be able to do this. Oh, Blasphemous just rated with 125 viewers. Blasphemous, thank you so much. Salute to you, man. Giving you the double salute for that. How was your stream? Hopefully well. Hopefully the family is doing well. Hype raid indeed. Hope you're doing well. Blasphemous, it's been a while. Hope you are doing very well. I've enjoyed seeing pictures you've posted in the past with your kids going to school and stuff. It was always fun. Fam, doing good. Great to hear. Great to hear. Yeah, we are doing good tonight. We are talking about the RSI day here on IAE. We're going to talk about the Polaris a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit about capital ship price increases. We are also doing a giveaway. I'll go ahead and pop that up. We're doing a giveaway for an Argo Atlas tonight. There are two ways to enter that for those of you that have come over from Blasphemous's channel, which really appreciate you hanging out with us for a bit. If you'd like to do so, all you need to do is, if you're on Twitch, is hit exclamation ticket or exclamation ticket max and get all your tickets to win an Argo Atlas tonight. If you're on YouTube, watching over on YouTube, there is a link pinned to the top of chat. You just go to that link. It is for my shipyard video on the Crucible. You leave a comment there, positive, happy comment, whatever you want to do. Hey, hi, bye. It can be one word, doesn't matter. And we'll draw from a random comment from there. So
Don't forget, guys, there's a space between ticket and a max.
yeah, I need to make a little bug for that. But you can enter on both. You can enter on YouTube. You can enter on Twitch. However, you can only win once. So, and you must be present to win. You absolutely must be present to win. We're going to call that out, give you a few minutes to respond, and then move on to the next winner. Okay. That being said, everyone from Blasphemous channel, thank you for coming over, hanging out with us tonight. Really appreciate it. Hopefully it's going to be a decent discussion. Not sure what you were all doing over on Blasphemous's channel. Hopefully having a good time, though. What were you up to over there? Were you doing Save Stanton or something? That's actually something me and you need to do, Ender.
Really
Because
got to get that done.
there's the pyro repeaters that are
Yeah.
rewards, I don't really care about those, but there's rumored to be another reward, and it's been labeled as executive hangar, but it's
Hmm.
also there's also something in the code strings that are called like executive hangar ship claim or something. I don't know what it
Hmm.
is, but a lot of the data miners think it's tied to the Save Stanton events. So again,
Yeah.
don't know what it is. We might need to do that.
So you're mentioning the Apollo, how it
Yes.
could have a general purpose. Hear me out now,
Yeah.
Grim.
And
You
I'll
got
just say
the
one thing before you launch it. I'll just say
Yeah.
only because it's a cool ship design and I feel like more people could enjoy it with a general purpose variant that has some habitation on board, some general cargo, whatever. Go.
Wholeheartedly agree. But hear me out.
Okay.
Instead of just general purpose, what if you had an executive transport version of this? You've
That's a
got that beautiful skylight that's in the center there. I could see I wouldn't call it a party bus, but
mhm.
something similar to a like a meeting. Yep, where you go to schmooze with executives or something like that, or just an executive transport where it's a few people, 10 or 12 people, larger than the Spirit as far as carrying capacity. I could see something like that coming
Yeah.
out of this.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool. Real quick, I'll respond to that. Blasphemous says we were flying the Polaris a bit tonight and helping folks catch up on their Save Stanton missions. Doing the good work, Blasphemous. Again, really appreciate that raid. Um, Definitely have to catch up for too long. Really appreciate that though. Yeah, I think that that would be an interesting idea. We've obviously heard rumors. We've heard more than rumors actually. We've seen imagery and we've seen a lot in the code strings about the Zeus ST, which is possibly some sort of luxury touring variant. Do we think that with the Zeus ST and the Connie Phoenix, do we feel like maybe the luxury transport is covered? Or is there a different niche that an Apollo luxury transport could tap into? Um, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. I think that maybe I was trying to think of other variants for it though. I mean, the differences between the medevac and the triage too are like bed layout. Well, in addition to like armor and speed and stuff like that,
Armor and
there
speed,
is a
but
difference between their
yeah,
bed
bed
layouts.
layout, yeah,
It almost makes me wonder if there's room for an Apollo, another variant that is more luxury, or let's not say luxury, but it's like high end medical that maybe comes with two tier one beds, but nothing else. Like no
yeah,
lower tiers, because I think the other medevacs can carry like 4 or 5 beds in the ships.
yeah,
I forget how many,
yeah.
but imagine if there was a higher end Apollo that had like two tier one beds in it. I'm thinking too, like, remember that movie Elysium where
Of course.
there was like the rich people medical
Yep,
pod? Sort of,
yep.
sort of thinking like that,
Kind of
right?
like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
where it's very not everybody is going to be rebuilt by this particular bed kind
yeah,
of thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I agree. So that's the Apollo triage, Apollo medevac. No price increase there, so no big worries. The Arrastra, it's another one we didn't hear anything about. I personally don't. It's surprising we haven't heard anything about the Arrastra, although I do think it's possible we could hear something about the Arrastra as we get closer to base building coming out, or even sometime next year.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I think
this goes two different ways. Either one, they're waiting for base building to get closer before they give some of these bigger resource generating ships online, or the reason why the Arrastra is not being talked about is because CIG plans on really just focusing on small and medium bases at first. Maybe large and extra large won't even come out for a while. We don't really know. And maybe small and medium bases can be done by smaller mining ships, smaller refinery ships, smaller
yeah.
salvage ships. That could be an option there. I know
Flip
Ender
flop.
that you were pretty keen on a salvage variant of the Arrastra. I would
I
agree with that.
really would kill for a salvage variant of the
Yeah,
Arrastra.
yeah,
I think it's a great design ship. It would definitely end up in my hangar. It could potentially. No, it wouldn't replace my Vulture. I love that Vulture, but it would replace something. I just don't know what.
Yeah. Flip Flop 22 on YouTube says,
Yep.
question, which do you think would be more efficient? 4 people working together in the Arrastra or splitting them among single-seater ships like the Prospector, Expanse, and the small, essentially the smaller industrial ships? I've
I'd
often
have to
wondered
say
about
the
that.
Arrastra. I'd have to say the Arrastra, and here's why.
Yeah.
With the Arrastra, you're working 3 mining heads at one time, and you've got somebody who is, either processing the items or moving those ores. With three or with mining ships, smaller ships splitting in between those, you're going to have one person maybe mining,
Mm-hmm.
one person carrying it, one person moving the stuff between those ships, and another person to refine it if that's what they're doing. You're breaking up the work too much. You would actually need double the people, I think, to keep up with a larger ship. Uh, and really, the proof is in the way we do our reclaimer. When you pull out your reclaimer,
Yeah.
um,
Well,
we do more and make more with that reclaimer because we can go through it faster.
right. And now we did some. We watched a guide by, dang, I always forget his name. It'll come to me.
Yeah.
Who did that guide for the Vulture? And
Yeah.
I think with a very, like, if you keep your downtime really low, you can do a run in the Vulture that takes about 55 minutes and
Yeah.
nets you, is it a quarter million?
300K.
Is it 300K?
350-ish K,
Okay.
if you do it right.
350-ish K. VMXEO slides in the chat. Hope you're well,
Up B.
VMXEO. Salute to you, buddy. Hope you are doing well. Uh, if you feel the desire to jump on, ping me. I will send you a video link. But yeah, you could do that. Now, on the other side, though, you can, in the reclaimer. Now, I don't. Now it's longer than an hour, but we've gone out in the reclaimer, and in one run we pulled, was it 2.5 or 3 million,
Yeah, and
something
we
like that.
didn't
Now we
even
had to
come
split
close
that
to
amongst
filling
people.
it up.
We did, and we did.
Sure, but it was only 4 of us. So
That's
two
true.
million split between four
And
is
4 was
still
enough.
2.5 about four. That's still 625,000. So almost double
Almost
what
double.
we made, and
Yeah.
we didn't fill it up.
Yeah, we didn't fill it up.
We
We weren't
still had room. We could have filled that up and really
we
made some
weren't
money.
playing to have like low downtime either. That's the other thing. We were sending the javelin overhead. Thank you, Shell61. Appreciate that.
When
Yeah,
to answer your
yeah. Go ahead.
question, it was filling the 12 SCU grid and then refilling the reserves and then going back printing off the boxes after you empty the other boxes out.
Yeah, yeah. Michael Phillips says, "Do you think the Expanse will come out next year with crafting starting soon?" I think so. We're going to need refinery ships, so something's going to have to come out.
Something's going to have to give there.
Yeah. No price increase on the Arrastra, still 575. Not a cheap ship, but I think that price represents CIG's vision for how important of a role this ship is going to play in the verse.
Yeah.
It's right in line with like Carrick prices. So yeah, I think CIG looks at this as a Swiss Army knife when it comes to mining. So if you are a mining focused player, the Arrastra ultimately, much like the Reclaimer is kind of an end goal. I know a lot of people may look at the Orion as the end goal mining ship, and I don't disagree with that, but I do think the Orion is on a whole other different level, and
Yeah.
and actually appeals to a might appeal to a different type of player because the Arrastra can absolutely go down to the surface, do super surface mining, all that kind of stuff. The Orion doesn't even have landing gears; it ain't going anywhere near the surface. So, all right, we're gonna keep going here. Aurora series. I'm gonna skip over these. It's very possible we could see an
Loud
Aurora.
guns.
What's that?
Sorry. Loud guns. It finally
Loud
hit me.
guns. Thank you.
Loud guns.
Loud
Anyway,
Guns did a
continue.
great salvage guide with the Vulture. I highly recommend it.
Yep.
Um, Connie series. Again, these have been out a while. No real reason
Nothing
to,
new
to
here.
deep dive these. I mean, they are very useful ships. People do like them. They are
Hmm.
effective in combat at this stage. They
Yep.
are due to get a rework. And you know what? After that rework, I would love to hopefully see a ship that appeals to me more. They don't currently.
Yeah.
Um,
I just and I don't want to mince words. I don't hate these things because they are ugly for any reason. I do think they're ugly, but I actually just dislike the ship because of what you just said.
yeah,
They're effective in combat right now.
yeah,
The only reason they're effective is because one person can fly this ship and it's a beast,
yeah.
and it shouldn't be a one person ship. I'll be honest, I don't like the look of the ship, and I do hope a rework alters the look a little bit and maybe makes it more appealing to me.
Well, we know the front struts are going to change. Obviously, it's a long standing request from players.
Hmm.
The funny thing is, I'll just go back to this image, is I'm I'm always a little concerned about when people say, "Oh, I don't like struts," and CIG then goes and does a ship with no struts. It doesn't always look great. Okay.
It does.
And I'll give you a couple examples. And I'm not saying these don't look good, but the Polaris used to have more struts on it. CIG removed some of them. Now I think CIG struck a very good balance there. There's some struts coming in, directing your eye center. They opened it up a little bit. So they did a good job there. They did a good job on the Zeus. The Zeus has some struts, but some have been removed, or not removed, but they designed the canopy with low struts getting in your way, but they are still there. The
Yeah.
bad version of that, and again, some people are going to disagree with me on this. This is completely subjective, but the bad version of this is the Mantis. To me, the
Yeah.
Mantis has no
Uh,
struts, so it looks unfinished up front. Like it looks like they
yeah.
forgot something, right? So I do think CIG is better at doing those front canopies for RSI now. So we'll see. You know, that redesign and possibly a few others. Obviously, they're going to remove you can see it right here. They're going to remove these top docking collars because
Hmm.
CIG doesn't do that on ships anymore. If they do they do one, well, they already have the side ones. But the interior of the ship in general just needs redone, in my opinion. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
moving along. Okay, let's talk about the Galaxy. Did the Galaxy stay even in price at 380?
It's 350. Oh no, 380. 380. I
380.
read
Okay,
wrong. I
that's
read
okay.
good.
And that's just for the
Um,
base Galaxy with no modules.
no modules.
Am I
No
correct in
modules.
that? Okay, no modules for that.
Correct.
Okay. I, yeah, for that price, I do think you should get at least the cargo module. But
I think yeah, yeah, a minimum of one, but
yeah,
also, you know,
yeah, okay. So the big thing with the Galaxy, obviously, some controversy there recently with the base building module. CIG has rectified that, though. Again, thank you, John Crew. Not sure if you watched this, probably not, but thank you for rectifying that. However, a lot of people saw last year that this ship was going into development, or so it was said, and bought it because of that. We now know that the Galaxy is being, as the BMM was done, a pin's being put in it for a period of time. We don't know
yeah.
how long. Um, I'm I'm a little bit split if it makes more sense after the Perseus, if it makes more sense for CIG to do the Galaxy or for them to do the Arrastra, in terms of like what's the most useful in the short term. And I guess there's an argument for both because let's say if the Galaxy just launched with its medical, refinery, and cargo module, the cargo and refinery modules could directly play a role in base building. So I don't think it's a total waste to do that. However, CIG may be looking at it in like, well, what's the most beneficial, this or a dedicated large mining ship?
Well, let me make a different argument
Okay.
because I think there is another argument to be made for the Galaxy that doesn't quite connect to base building,
Mm-hmm.
but also does,
Mm-hmm.
and that's modularity.
Right.
With the Galaxy will come modularity. That's their words. That's their statement. Now that
Yeah.
could change. We could end up with a non-modular Galaxy, but I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I think it's the key point to it's like one of its key
So
features.
the argument, in my eyes, the statement to be made is with the Galaxy, the modularity comes, which means all the current modular ships can kind of get that modularity, which with it comes potential base building stuff, crafting stuff, more refining ability, more ability to carry things. So I think that while the Arrastra does make sense to go next, the Galaxy almost to me makes more sense to go next because, in spite of the potential problems, you have modularity that could come out, and that's a game changer in the
Yeah.
short term and long
I
term.
mean, we have the retaliators modules, obviously, but I don't think they're not, well, it's tricky with the retaliator. The retaliator without its like torpedo module, I don't really understand why you fly it. It seems like a very strange drop ship, and it seems strange to have like full on habitation in it. Um,
Yeah,
but I could obviously the torpedo module is key. That's what the ship is for ultimately. So the Retaliator has always been a kind of a weird modular ship for me. Well, the Galaxy is built around the modules, right? So its
right.
role can shift entirely based off what it's doing. Um, VG says base building has a lot of building and crafting to it. Has there been any discussion of prefab structures that ships like the Galaxy could deliver? So essentially, delivering a thing. No, I don't think so. Um, I think it would only be like the small buildings that would be able to be delivered by ship anyway, because by the looks of the videos, the buildings can get pretty damn big actually. So, um,
Oh, flight not careful. There's a druid in this chat right now, and they are very big on the druids. Don't
yes, I rock a
don't anger the
druid.
druidic gods.
Hey, we're made to do everything. Okay. We
It's
got
true.
4 specs in WoW. Um, the Lynx Luxury Rover, again, this is just one of those interesting vehicles. It's not really. This is one of those ones I personally wouldn't buy. I would just craft it eventually, or buy it in game. It's just a rover. It's a cool looking one, but it's just a rover. Mantis, again, interdictor, interesting ship. I personally don't like the design, and I'm in the minority. A lot of people love this design, and that's great if you do. Uh, but it's obviously got its usage and its people, and the people that love it. So, $150, not a bad price for what it brings, because obviously it can be a pretty powerful effector of combat ultimately in the verse, especially when we start getting into fleet combat and stuff. So
Yeah.
it'll be really interesting when we get that. Um, keep moving along here. The Orion. Let's stop here for a second. I saw VMXEO in chat say something earlier about the Arrastra and its sort of art tile set. So the Arrastra and the Orion are going to be a little bit unique because they are RSI and well, they're industrial RSI ships, and I don't
Right.
think we have an industrial RSI ship, do we? Or am I missing one? So that where I'm going with that is that tile set, that art set, maybe a little different than what we see in our other RSI ships. We've got
Yeah.
civilian RSI ships now, and like the Apollo and the Aurora and the Zeus and the Connies. And then we have military RSI and the Scorpius and the Polaris and whatnot and the
Hmm.
Perseus. But the Orion is much like is the Orion and the Arrastra is very much like the industrial language for RSI, and I don't think we've seen that yet.
We haven't, and I'm noticing it for the first time. But the front end of the Orion kind of resembles the Arrastra a little bit.
A little
Um,
bit, just like flipped, right? Kind of,
yeah, like it's on its side. I don't know why I hadn't noticed that,
yeah.
but it resembles it a little bit. It's obviously larger and it's got the gears in the middle, but um, I could see. I
I'm
don't
gonna
know.
pull up. I'm gonna pull up
I
my my fan reconcept of the Orion that I did a while back,
mm,
borrowing parts from other RSI ships. Um,
that's right. I remember
yeah,
this.
I did reconcept it
Oh, I
quite a
never
bit.
got to see you. You do this part though. I never saw this.
Yeah, I actually like the reconcept. I would love for them to go a route like this. I brought in parts and pieces from the Galaxy actually,
You see that?
just to kind of give it some of that RSI flair. But again, this is just me having fun. Ultimately, though, when you really think about it, I brought over pieces of a civilian ship into this ship, and
Hmm.
they obviously probably wouldn't do that. They're going to want to keep a very industrial RSI language going. So again, just
I,
having a little fun with it, but it was cool to do this one.
I loved your humbleness. Grim says, "This is just me having fun, and this looks pretty amazing."
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I liked it actually. The end result, I was like,
Yeah,
yeah, I'd buy that.
yeah, I'd buy that for $1.
But obviously, the other thing with the Orion is, they say it here in the little tagline, mining on a massive scale. This thing is meant to mine huge asteroids in space. It's got massive refinery capabilities. Um, a long, long time ago, and I can't remember how long ago it was. Um, CIG, I think it was like Beyond the Verse or Around the Verse or Ship Shape or something. They actually showed some early white box of the interior of the Arrastra, and I remember thinking it looked really cool. It was very simple geometry. It was very, very, very like white box level stuff, but it was cool. Like they actually pushed the camera all through the Orion. You can see the full interior of it, so it's really cool. Um, Next, the RSI Perseus. What we pretty much have been told is the next RSI big ship to come out. Um, this is a big warship again, and one of the ships Ender's excited to get. It's a gunboat, 100 meters long, so a little shorter actually than a lot of people think. A lot of people think of the RSI Perseus as being bigger, somewhere around the 125-meter range. I see that constantly. It's actually a smaller ship than the Hammerhead.
Mhm.
It's 100 meters, but what you have to remember is that this ship punches above its weight. It's small on purpose, right? And that size is actually going to be one of its advantages. It's going to have a smaller cross section. It's got smaller crew requirements, and it's essentially a platform for some very big bespoke size 7 guns.
Love this ship. Love everything about it. Um, I originally was very anti Perseus because I was a big fan of the Hammerhead.
Yep, yeah, you
But
were.
the more I used the Hammerhead, the more I realized it's just too much uh, for too little. It's a good gunship, but in my opinion, it doesn't quite do enough.
Hmm.
Whereas the Perseus, I've got less people that need to be on it, and it punches high. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's got a great set of weapons on it, the torpedoes, and the RP ability alone on that ship looks really good. So really
I
excited about that ship.
I agree. I mean, the Hammerhead I do like. It is obviously for tackling fighters. However, if I were to own a Hammerhead, it would have to be a variant where the turrets are not manned, but they're remote. And like and all the shooters sit in like a maybe an armored section inside the ship. But the main reason I would want that is because I would want the ability to AI blade those remote turrets, so that the Hammerhead could essentially be a flying PDC platform. You know what I mean? And just orbit a space station base or something, waiting for incoming
Yeah,
fire. And it just, as soon as it
exactly.
detects them, turrets light up.
Bada.
Yeah. But there's a
Yeah,
Perseus sitting at $675, kind of an expensive ship. But you must remember, and we're going to get to it here very, very shortly with the Polaris. This ship is a military ship, so it comes with the military tax. Essentially, it's expensive. This ship is made to get in and brawl. It's got heavy armor. It moves slow, or at least from last we've heard. So this is really a ship that's supposed to get into the mix of a battle and just roll around and beat the hell out of whatever it's fighting. So.
yeah,
Um, Keep moving here. We're going to move past the Polaris for a minute because we are going to come back to that. Scorpius and Scorpius Antares at 240 and 230 respectively. Pretty cool ships. I know where they were sitting in kind of a weird place with Master Modes came out, and then they got adjusted to be kind of better again. The Antares and Ender, feel free to inject if you got opinion on these. The Antares, my only issue with that is it really should have been a one person Scorpius. Um, it's
yeah.
still it's still two people, but it's got less offensive power than the other Scorpius. I just think this one would have been an interesting platform for a single person version of the Scorpius.
I agree. I think that having the ability to man that uh, um, EMP at first it made sense to me, right?
Me too.
Give
At
it
first
something
it
to
did,
do.
yeah.
But the more I look at it, the more I think about it, and especially with master modes now,
Hmm.
it doesn't make sense to have that other person on there. They're literally going to sit. So, yeah, I gotta say, I think that it should be changed, but I don't see it happening.
There's so many like timing variables too. You're having to keep in track to sync that stuff up too. So
Yeah, yeah.
VG says, question, don't you think the Antares was inadvertently designed as the perfect multi-boxing ship? Possibly, yeah, inadvertently
Yeah.
though. I don't think it was done on purpose, obviously,
I
but
mean,
yeah.
but the mole, I would argue the mole is that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've seen somebody who does that, and it's interesting to watch, to say the least.
Yeah. Ursa rovers, we're going to skip over those. We've talked a lot about those. Obviously, the Ursa medevac is the one that kind of threw a little bit of a wrench into some of the
Wrenched a
medical
lot of plans. Yeah,
plans. We'll see how that nets out, but still a pretty good deal. If you're going to buy an Ursa, honestly, you should probably get the medical variant. It's going to have the most
agreed.
usage. Um,
Great.
let's move on to the Zeuses. Thoughts on any of these? Obviously, the ES and the CL are in game. I did have both for a while. I have melted the ES.
Hmm.
The only thing I use this is a cargo runabout, so the CL is more for me, and you're not giving up that much. But um,
Yeah,
thoughts on the Zoo Cinder? I believe you have a Mark, the MR variant
I
for
do.
bounty
I have the
hunting.
Mark II MR.
Yeah,
And I got to tell you, I'm a fan of the Zeus. I think it's a great companion piece to the Spirits that came out
yeah,
the year before, if I'm not
yeah,
incorrect.
yeah. Year before.
Um, and I use both, and I love it.
Yeah,
Personally, I think the MR is the best of them, but I could be, a little bit biased since I'm not big on cargo, and I just don't see me doing a ton of exploring. Although I could see me trading down to an explorer at some point,
hmm
because of the changes to exploration that have come recently. I like those changes, and I think that they're perfect for it. So,
Yeah, I agree. Again, there's variants for pretty much any type of gameplay. I do think the MR will obviously come online when we get Bounty Hunting V2 to be the perfect ship to kind of roll in with that gameplay. It's
hmm
very possible the MR has been worked on and is mostly done, just waiting on that gameplay. We also have the rumored ST variant, which we believe is some sort of luxury touring variant. So Zeus is still incredibly popular. Really great ships. I think CIG knocked it out of the park. The new Montreal studios up there at Turbulent. This was their first full ship they developed from start to finish, and I think they nailed it. I mean, there's some minor quibbles. The cargo entry area for the Zeus is a little bit of a choke point. I think it's also interesting they made the Zeuses, but didn't make them they didn't make the ramp big enough to carry an Ursa rover, which is an RSI ground vehicle. I just thought that was kind of
hmm
interesting. I do think it was on purpose, but I do feel like the Zeus could have maybe afforded to be 5, 6 meters longer if they needed to make it big enough to get the
yeah,
Ursa in there. Um, but again, there's a lot going for it now, and I don't think that necessarily hurts it. It's just a minor quibble. So,
yeah, yeah.
um, all right, so that's pretty much it. Let's go to the big ship in the room, though, everyone. Let's go to the RSI Polaris. We're going to bring that up now. Before we get into this, we're going to watch the trailer. We're going to go down and watch the trailer for the Polaris, which I got to say, this is a hell of a trailer. So we are going to
Wait, I
turn on
haven't
the
seen this.
audio. You haven't seen it? Okay.
No, can you shoot it to me?
Yes.
I
Yep.
apologize, everyone. Sorry.
That's all good. Stand by.
Patty Ender didn't notice this.
I'm going to send it to you. The audio is real good. Let me pause it and go back to 0. And I'm
No.
sending you the link now. It's really cool because the trailer cuts between a captain getting the ship ready to go out on its first trip and then cuts to the ship in the midst of a horrific battle. And
I
he's a
love
little
it.
older and stuff. So it's really cool. All right. And we are going to start in 3, 2, 1.
love this music.
Yeah. Epic.
Oh.
I love how it goes to the peaceful to the war.
Yeah, it's great juxtaposition of what's happening here.
It's so cool. Damn it, CIG. They when with these trailers, they like the stupid stuff. They literally make me like. I watch the trailer and I'm like, I need a Scorpius to go in my Polaris.
It's,
I don't, by the way. I did not buy a Scorpius for that. Um,
I do. I need a Scorpius to go into your Polaris.
but you know what? Our FA Mark IIs will fit in there just fine.
Oh, yes, they will.
You know, it's a great trailer. Look, we all know CIG is amazing at making good trailers. There's no issue there. But this trailer, I think, is especially successful because it sells a fantasy of what's to come. Right? There's some
Yeah.
trailers that just kind of show beauty stuff. There's some trailers that sort of just are a little cheeky, you know. So if you watch like the Corsair trailer, which is like an ASMR thing, this trailer to me sells a fantasy though, and for someone just spending a dump truckload of money on a ship, um, you want to be able to watch a trailer and feel good about your purchase, right? That's sort
Yeah.
of the goal there. And or a trailer to or if you don't own one, you want to watch that trailer and go, shit, I need that ship, right?
Got to get that. Yeah, I just thought about that myself when we
Yeah.
were watching this. It's like, man, I want that.
And the good thing is you get a loaner. But the other thing
Got it.
is this idea between capital ships and big ships requiring crew, right? That's why I
Mhm.
kind of love that they spent a lot of time where this captain is touring the ship, getting it ready, and then ultimately going into battle with his crew. You'll see many times where he's walking the ship and the crewmates are there, they're saluting him, all that stuff. So not only did they emphasize the ship and how cool it is and its role, they also emphasize that a lot of people need to be in this ship to make it work
Mhm.
to max efficiency. And when I first watched the trailer, my initial reaction was, why are they showing the Polaris kind of getting the shit beat? I mean, it's doing a lot of damage, but it's also getting beat up a little bit too. And then I got to thinking, I was like, oh yeah, when they were working on this, resource resource management was supposed to be coming out, right? So, or with 4.0,
Yep.
we were supposed to be getting engineering very soon. I do still think we're going to get it pretty soon, but you know, at that time, repair and having your crew in there repairing stuff was still going to be kind of a major thing. So, ultimately, very cool trailer. Did not let me down. This go easily goes into my top three trailers now for Star Citizen, which are the Kraken trailer, the Pioneer trailer, and now the Polaris trailer. They're just incredible. And yes, while I don't love the ship, I would put the 890 Jump probably at number four. The 890 Jump's an
I
incredible
agree.
trailer. That sells the fantasy. You know what I mean? It
Can
sells the fantasy.
can you skip to real quick
Yep.
1 minute and 29-ish seconds?
Yep.
Maybe 27.
Mm-hmm. You
Um,
want me to turn the audio down?
Probably, yeah, we don't need audio. This is probably one of my favorite shots that they do here
Yeah.
because this is the young captain
Mm-hmm.
walking through his ship, kind of
Yeah.
taking it all in while it's a battle scene. And I think that's probably the coolest little
Yeah.
cinematic moment that I've seen.
Yeah.
Um, I think they did a really good job, and I think they're stepping up their game with uh, uh, how they do these
Yeah.
trailers, and I think they're really, really kind of hitting the nail on the head lately quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it just again, it when you watch the trailer, it does what it from a marketing perspective, it does what it needs to do, right? It sells the
Yeah,
Polaris, and that's what a trailer should do. I'm still a little salty about the Corsair trailer, by the way. I wish they would have made that a proper trailer, not the ASMR thing they did. But complaints aside, again, incredible trailer. They did a great job there. Let's go ahead and go to the Polaris ship page here. Again, the ship page primarily just highlights the fact, that it has the dual size 6 bespoke weapon on the front here. If you look at this design here, this is a slightly smaller version of what you're going to see on the Perseus, by the way. The same kind of design for the turret, only bigger on the Perseus, but
right.
same sort of thing. It talks a lot about or it highlights here these 28 size 10 torpedoes, as well as the missile and turret mounts, PDCs, all that stuff. Um, Again, more highlight of the turrets and stuff. Again, this is a warship. The ship it's not really trying to advertise its luxurious bunk room. It's made to fight, and that's what they're highlighting here.
Yeah,
Um, Going on down, obviously the really nice concept or promotion images. Of course, they have one here of it destroying the Idris again. Kind of leaning into that. I think when the Idris finally launches to the PU, they'll probably have one of it destroying a Polaris. But some cool images there. This image here was really cool. I saw an info runners then point this out, and I agree. This is very similar to one of the original concept images of the Polaris back when it was kind of different. And there was a saber coming out of it. I love that. I agree with Execute that I love that they updated this to the new ship with the Scorpius in there. I think that's a nice little touch.
yeah, and I think it looks really good.
Yeah, really nice. What other? Oops, I was gonna. Obviously showing inside your crew again, highlighting the crew, highlighting the number of people that need to be on the ship. It is a capital ship. It's a proper capital.
Happyson, there's your red shirts, by the way. They were all dying on the away team during that cinematic
Oh
trailer.
yeah, that's actually a good call out. That is cool.
Um,
So with the captain in the trailer, the captain arriving by the Connie Phoenix,
mhm.
going to his ship, it very much reminded me of Kirk. I forget in which movie he gets brought by the shuttle to the
Yeah,
Enterprise, but they do like the fly around the Enterprise to like check it out. It totally reminded me of that. It had that vibe. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So, all right, continuing on. This is my favorite image right here. Ender knows from our years of playing Arma 3 that I am a big fan of logistics. It's kind of my thing and like preparing. And yes, thank you, Midgard. Star Trek the Motion Picture. I might watch that tonight, damn it. But I love this image. There's a similar image of the caterpillar being loaded up and sort
yeah,
of getting ready for flight. I
yep.
love that they did that to the Polaris with its big side opening ramps. It's really cool just seeing. I don't
I
know. I don't know about you, Ender, but I'm looking forward to the day when we have our own bases and we can have big ships parked out on our own landing pads, and
yeah,
have our org people scurrying around it, loading it, and it's not all contained into like a dungeon hangar. You know what I
I
mean? It
think
can
that's
all
gonna be
happen out in the
great.
open. I think that'll be cool.
Yep, I think it's gonna be great. I did like seeing that happening in the trailer. I think that's
Yeah,
another great part of the trailer. But yeah, yeah,
yeah. I'll talk about the interior a little bit. Let's go down here to the paints. Obviously, this is the factory standard, which I thought they did an incredible job on. Still one of my favorites. We have the Apex, which is kind of a green and gray. I haven't checked that one out in game yet, but it's got a little bit more of a, I guess, kind of a classic military look to it. And then we have the Sirius, which is a blue, gray, and yellow. This is the one I currently have outfitted on my Polaris because it looks incredible in game. I love it. And just brings a little bit of like, to me, this looks more like the Polaris commanded by like a militia instead of like the UEE military. And I think that's what I like about it is that it's a militia kind of. It almost feels like how a militia would do their paint jobs. And
yeah,
then ultimately, Quasar, black and gold. You got to have black and gold, right?
yeah, yeah. I think you do. I gotta disagree with only the one thing you said
Okay.
was the green is very classic military. I think it's too aqua, too
Mm-hmm.
too greenish blue. Um, I feel like the gunmetal gray that we've got, the haze gray, uh, is more classic for something like
The
this.
factory standard.
Yeah, the factory standard is more of a gunmetal gray, and then if it went a little lighter and was haze gray, which is what typical
Mm-hmm.
naval ships are. I got to be honest though, I think the aqua green is probably my favorite
Mm-hmm.
because I like that color. I like the look of it. I don't know, it makes the lines of the ship pop just a little bit more for me.
Yeah, that's an interesting point.
Um,
That's an interesting point. I
I,
agree with
I
that.
think it's a great look for that ship.
I think that's partially why I like the Sirius is that it actually they colored certain areas of the ship and it breaks up the entire like line structure
Yeah.
a lot. God, I hope they bring some of these cool paint jobs over to the Perseus. The cool thing with
Me
the
too.
Perseus is it's got that one limited time sale concierge paint. That's the dazzle camouflage, which is really
Yeah.
cool. I hope they do a good job on that one. I really hope they don't drop the ball on that paint job.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Just the specs here, and I want to go ahead and toot my own horn a little bit. The length of the ship came out to 166 meters. Me and VMXEO in chat landed on 166 meters all the way back at Invictus, and we're right. We were right, as we said, 166 meters. Um, moving down. Okay, let's get to our topic for tonight. Let's get to our topic for tonight. And don't forget, everybody, real quick. Um, to get the Argo Atlas giveaway, we're going to give those away tonight. We are going to do that drawing here in about 10 minutes. But if you're on Twitch, you're just going to do exclamation ticket or exclamation ticket and then a space max to get your tickets in on the Argo Atlas giveaway. If you are lacking channel points, I think you can follow and I'll give you some more if you need it. If you're over on YouTube, there is a link pinned to the top of the YouTube chat that'll take you to a shipyard video, one of my videos on the Crucible. All you need to do is leave a comment on that Crucible video. Boom, you are locked in on the YouTube giveaway. If you are curious about entering both giveaways, you can enter both. You can enter on YouTube, you can enter on Twitch. However, you can only win once and you must be in chat. We're going to call your name out. You need to answer. If you don't answer after about a few minutes, then we're going to move on to the next winner. Okay, that's how it's going to work. All right.
Yep.
Let's continue this conversation. Now, this is kind of our end conversation tonight, our main topic. The Polaris came in at $850 war bond, so a $100 increase, or no, is it? Yeah, $100, right? Increase. Yep, $100 increase over where it was, or $975 for the credit version, which is a $225 increase over its
Yeah.
previous price.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of people originally saw that and said, "Oh, great, just low enough that it doesn't have LTI." However, CIG got ahead of that with offering a Polaris with a Scorpius and the Quasar paint for $1,025. That one does have LTI. Check here. Yep, does have LTI. One nice thing about that is if you got that at Warbond, you're essentially getting a Scorpius for around $50. $50.
Roughly.
Yeah, which isn't bad considering it's a $240 ship. That being said, Ender, I'm going to hand it over to you real quick. What was your initial thought on the Polaris price increase to 975?
I expected the increase. I don't think I expected quite a large increase,
Mm-hmm.
but it makes sense. This is a capital ship. It is a large warship, and
Mm-hmm.
with the changes that will eventually come, I think that it's going to be worth the amount that it's coming out for.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just I expected it to go up maybe a little slower. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We get the price increase when it comes out, but maybe for any number of reasons they can't do that.
Yeah.
But I expected it to hit, the 975 range at some point. I just didn't expect it right away.
Yeah. Lazy Donut's just correcting me. Lazy's got all the information. 175 for the Scorp since the Polaris is 850 at War Bond. Okay, that does make sense. Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you, Lazy. So real quick, I think I was actually expecting the Polaris to go to $1,000. So for me, it came right about on target. And the only reason I thought that is because I kept in mind the Idris, right? With the Idris is currently at, chat help me out. It's at 1250 $1,250, I think, War Bond now. Chat will correct me if I'm wrong. I know Lazy's ready to correct me if he's got the information, but I think it's $1,250 War Bond. Oh, okay, Valisol says 1,300 War Bond. Okay, so and it's still not flight ready in the game for us yet. When that goes flight ready, it's very possible the Idris will go up a little bit. I do believe it will a little bit. Let's just say it has a $200 bump, okay, which I think could happen. So let's say $1,500. Thinking about the Polaris being a Corvette smaller than the Idris, not as capable as the Idris, from in certain respects. Other respects, I think it's more capable. I felt like it was going to need to cross that $1,000 threshold, especially with it being a military warship. But obviously, it didn't. It's staying at 975. There's another great benefit to that, and someone in chat pointed it out during the shipyard episode today, is that by being sub 1,000, the ship's still giftable, which is kind of cool.
True.
and
True.
and that could be anything for charity event or whatever, right? It's still giftable, and I like that flexibility personally. First off, I don't think any ship should be ungiftable, but ships that
Very
are over
important.
$1,000, Kraken, Idris, Javelin stuff, you can't gift them. The gift option is there, but when you try to go through with it, it won't do it. Um,
Gotcha.
yeah, so I think that kind of goes to. Actually, we're going to continue this price conversation, but I did want to switch over to the Q&A real quick. I encourage people to go read this. Not everything I'm going to go over here. A lot of it is the questions I'm tired of even answering, where they'll say, "What's the largest ship that can fit in the hangar?" It's a small landing pad, so small ships can go in it. That's how CIG defines that. However, they do have a few interesting things that are laid out here. One of the things is they do lay out what changed between the ship and its concept. I personally would love for them to do more of this. So, for example, they lay out that it got an extended armory. I'd agree with that. The armory is huge on the ship. No more executive officers' quarter. I disagree with that. I wish they would have kept that personally. That's
Agreed.
a ding in it. Reworked crew quarters into bunk rooms. Addition features on Bidge. I don't know what that means. Larger front turret. Again, the ship got upgunned, and a change to the torpedo reload mechanism. I'd love to know what the original reload thing was. Crimson Hawk says, question, referring to the Aegis Day, do you think there is any particular reason CIG decided to display an ancient virtual display model instead of the current or Squadron 42 version? I wondered that too, Crimson. I don't think they're ready to show off those ships in their new design fashion quite yet. I think they're going to make a bigger deal of that, and it wouldn't shock me if that's at Invictus.
Yeah.
I think that would be a really big thing to highlight at Invictus. They do mention, for example, one of the things I wanted to go to down here, they say, why are the captain's quarters locked? They say, to ensure the captain's quarters meets the high standards we strive for, we decided to hold this room for the next major update. Allowing players to access and store items in the room could have caused persistence issues, so we chose the most reliable approach, locking the door and removing it from exporting layers for launch. And then it just says to be released soon. That ties into another thing they talk about down here, which was, they say, could the room labeling and signage be reworked to make navigation more intuitive without requiring a map? This is something Ender heard me complain about too, is it felt like some of the decal, and Ender complained about as well, so it just felt like some of the decaling was missing or too small or weak looking. And they say here, signage was unfortunately missed and is something we want to go back and correct along with the release of the captain's quarters. So that's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Ship bullseyes should have been a standard. I
Yeah.
can see how it can easily be missed because, let's be honest, outside of the military, the Navy, bullseyes aren't really something that
widely known.
a lot of people know about.
Yeah,
They wouldn't know what to call it unless you work on ships,
I agree.
right?
I agree.
So, having bullseyes and knowing about bullseyes, nobody really would think of. So for them to miss it made sense.
Yeah,
It is something that I'm glad to hear that they are going to be adding because it helps a lot, especially when we get the larger ships. Because I don't know. Um, ASD phone says, "How does someone miss that? A wild excuse." It's not a wild excuse. A civilian doesn't look for bullseyes. They don't even
I,
know what a bullseye is
I
or how to read it.
I do
So
think they
it's
were.
something easily
I do
missed.
think they were rushing to get
Yeah.
this ship finished in time. It's a really big ship, major lift on their part, and I think they were just rushing to kind of get it done, so that they could hit that that limit that they put in.
A tradition for the military, for the Navy, is to, when you go to a larger ship, be taken to the middle of it and have to find your way out. And that's how you learn to read bullseyes.
Yeah.
I've done it on a carrier once. It wasn't my carrier, but it was my first time on a carrier. And I didn't eat dinner that night because I couldn't find the chow hall in time. But I
Yeah.
figured it out and learned to read it. So
Yeah.
um, I had a good breakfast too.
One other thing they say here is what happened to the executive officer's quarters. What was the reason to get rid of it? They say there's no longer a role for the executive officer aboard the Polaris. See the 5-person bridge configuration as example. As a result, this room was removed and the armory expanded. Again, I think this was a mistake. It removed a little bit of like something special to give the armory more room. I don't know. I could have used less of an armory to be quite honest with you. Andrew, your thoughts on that?
Sorry, what was the question? I was reading
Oh,
Shin
just
Pasta's
their
question.
just that their excuse for removing the executive officer's quarters was that there was no reason for an executive officer aboard the ship anymore with a 5-person bridge crew configuration, and as a result, this room was removed and the armory was expanded.
It's it's a weird excuse to give.
Yeah,
No matter what, a captain should always have an XO.
yeah,
Whether they're useful on the ship or not, that XO is either your right hand man that's just helping you with stuff,
yeah. You could become
or they're
incapacitated, or
giving the orders. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
you
So
could become
having him makes
incapacitated,
sense.
and the exo needs to take over. I look, a big armory is great for if the ship is boarded, you need to defend it, but again, something I think that I hated to see to go away. Again, you could go to the QA, read that for yourself. So yeah, that is the RSI Polaris. Okay, everyone, we're going to move over to the giveaway real quick. Here we go. Go ahead and get your tickets purchased now. We're going to be closing this in about 20 seconds on Twitch. Then we'll do the YouTube giveaway. Here's how it works, everyone. Listen up, listen carefully. If you win on Twitch, okay, if you're the winner, you need to DM me or DM Ender. I will send out the Argo Atlases tonight, later tonight, probably, not right after show. It'll probably have to be later tonight, or it'll be first thing in the morning. However, I do need your email address, okay, so that I can gift the ship to. And you need to DM that through Twitch. If you're the YouTube winner, you need to DM me on Discord, Starjump_Grim. You need to DM me on Discord. I will verify you and I'll send you and I'll get your email and we'll get you the Argo Atlas. Okay? Hopefully that all makes sense. Okay, here we go, everyone. We're going to be closing in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 7, 12. Okay, closing the giveaway. Giveaway is closed. We're drawing a winner. Good luck to everyone. Really appreciate you hanging out with us tonight. Winner is Bunker
Bunker
Fist.
Fist.
You know what? I'm glad Bunker won.
Congratulations,
He's put up
Bunk.
some strong arguments in chat before. Bunker's put up some strong arguments in chat before, and I do appreciate him. He's a great Starjump community member. If you're over on our Discord, you will know Bunker Fist. He's very active in the channels. We love him and are glad he's
Bunk, just
part of the
shoot
community.
Grim a DM
Yeah,
in Discord since you're already
yeah,
in the Discord. Shoot Grim a DM and give him your email address, sir.
Exactly. And Bunker, just a heads up, when the show ends tonight, I do need to do a quick thing. So I will probably gift you your Argo Atlas either later tonight or first thing in the morning. Just heads up. Okay. All right, here we go. We're going to do the YouTube comment picker now. All right, I'm going to grab the YouTube link. Old Bunker.
What's up, Execute?
Hey,
Grim, you
Execute.
are now Captain Flannel.
I know. I know. Execute. If you could only see it, I had the top button buttoned, but the rest of it's all open underneath because I ate a big meal tonight. So I just look like a Los Angeles gangster right now. It's pretty cool. This is the coolest I've ever looked. Execute, I hope you're well, buddy. I loved your RSI coverage today too, Execute. I watched it earlier
That was
today.
awesome.
Did a great job.
I watched it as well.
We're about at the end of this. So, all right, everybody, I'm going to plug in the end date. Hopefully you got your comments in. We started to stream tonight at 9 p.m. So we're going to plug that in. Doop and doop. All right, there we go. All right, everyone. Good luck to you all over on YouTube. Sexy Space Dad Graham. Yes, I feel that way. Excuse, I do. Everyone, if you haven't, obviously, go to YouTube, search Info Runners, or go to Twitch, look up Info Runners as
You have
well.
a shout out.
Oh, thank you very much, Ender. Appreciate that, bud. Ender's on top of it. If you haven't already followed the Info Runners, what are you doing? Go over there, give them a follow. Execute and Algrid do an incredible job, and I know Execute he's always got his hands full managing that and doing so much over there to give such really good content and help people frame the ships they're interested in a really interesting way to decide if they want to buy them or not. They really map all that out really well. They have great CCU guides, all that kind of stuff. So go give them a follow. Here we go. We're doing the YouTube giveaway for the Argo Atlas. Picking a random comment now. The shark is hunting. Shark is hunting. There's always that anticipation.
Baby
Good luck,
shark,
everyone.
baby shark. All right, I'm done.
Yes, please. Now I'm going to get copyright struck.
With under 15 seconds, you're good.
All right, Attack Cat. 47 a minute ago comment. Thank you so much, Attack Cat. If you're in chat, speak up now, please. We can give you a few minutes here. We'll see if Attack Cat is there. Hopefully they are. Let's see. Yes, sometimes the display name is different than the account name. So let's see. Let's see.
Baby. All right.
And what I might do on the YouTube, because this caused an issue later, is I might let that winner sit.
Give them 24 hours.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it 24 hours. Can contact me. I found that's kind of the issue with YouTube. And if they do not claim it in 24 hours, if Attack Cap does not DM me on Discord and I verify, then I will give this away on our next Starjump Station, which will be
Matter
Friday?
of fact,
Friday.
Are you able to go to that person's YouTube through this? Are you able to go to their?
Yeah, sometimes they're not coming up in chat, but I'm gonna give them 24 hours, and I can
through the link there.
Oh yes, I can. Yeah.
Go to that, and that's how you'll verify.
Yeah,
then.
exactly.
Cool. Got it.
That being said, everyone, I will get a hold of them. Let's see. That change does mean you don't have to be present, which might go against your issue. Yeah, Mecca, I know. I may change the rule a little bit on YouTube just because we ran into an issue the other day where the person's Attack Cat messaged.
Yep.
Oh, perfect. Okay, Attack Cat. Awesome. There you go. Which chat? Attack Cat, congratulations, you won an Argo Atlas. Just DM me on Discord, and yep, I see Attack Cat's there. Thank you very much. Attack Cat, DM me on Discord and I'll get you verified and we'll lock you in for that Argo Atlas. Again, I'll probably send those out later tonight. Or Bunkerfish just gifted tier 1 subs, if I can speak correctly.
You got this, Graham.
Awesome. Yes, I'm getting through it. Thank you very much, Bunker. Appreciate it. Enjoy your Argo Atlas. Giving you the double salute. I'm going to have emotes for those very soon. Thank you very much, Bunker. You're an awesome Starjump community member. We really appreciate you. Okay, that being said, thank you everyone for sticking with us for day 5 coverage of IAE. We'll be back in Friday, to cover what we've missed. We're not going to have any shows for the next 2 days, but we will cover some stuff on Friday and play catch up and talk about the Pioneer, Drake, the next IAE show, all that good stuff. Ender, you know what I'm going to ask. Who are we rating?
Oh, that's a good question, Grim. Let's look at the list.
Let's look
Let's
at the
go
list.
to twitch.tv and let's take a look. I see a few people. We got
You know what?
Beardy hanging around.
Let's
Henkin is
let's
there.
rate Henkin.
You're
Had a
reading
great
my
time.
mind.
Yeah,
Let's do
had a
it.
great time hanging out with Henkin, and let me know when the raid is done, and I can stop the stream. Everyone, make sure you
We
give
are
Starjump
starting
love
right now.
over to Henkin. Please give him some Starjump love, and as Ender always says, do something kind for a stranger. Let me know when we're done, Ender.
It's ready to go now. I'm just going to shout out, give Ender some love too eventually.
Oh, yes, please.
And love on Henkin. Tell him we said hello. Have a blast, boys and
Thank
girls.
you, everyone. Appreciate it. Starjump
Bye.
out.